Do we have anyone in the live chat today? Do we have anyone in the live chat today? We are live. So today's topic is nice guys finish last, and we are also doing a dating Q&A for anyone who has any questions in the chat today. Welcome to today's live stream. Just going to wait for some people to enter the chat today before we go into today's topic. Do we have anyone in the live chat today? So just to expand on the title of the topic a little bit today. So the title is not to say, you know, that you have to act a certain way with a woman, that you're supposed to like mistreat a woman, right? And it's not to say that you can't be pleasant to a woman and things like that, right? So the title is more about your mindset and your attitude overall. Yeah, it's not about not being a pleasant person. It's to say you shouldn't basically allow, you know, people to walk all over you, so to speak, right? So we've got December in the chat. Hello, December. How you doing today? We've got one in the chat so far. Do we have anyone else in the chat today? Anyone else in the chat today? So today's topic is nice guys finish last, meaning we shouldn't allow people to walk all over us, right? So a lot of guys think, you know, nice means kind of just doing, you know, whatever someone says and not kind of having your own like critical way of thinking about things. So it's not to say, you know, nice in the typical sense. It's more about being yourself, right? Rather than trying to be this like fake nice that you think is, you know, sort of like trying to adapt and adopt behaviors and attitudes that you think people are going to like. And we often can do these things because we're trying to seek approval from other people, right? Rather than just being yourself and being authentic. So we've got Akila in the chat today. How you doing today? So we are live today from London, UK. If you've got any questions, please go ahead and drop your questions in the chat. So today's topic, nice guys finish last. Because as a man, right, you shouldn't be a doormat. You shouldn't like, you know, allow people to, you know, walk over you and things like that, right? So an example is if you're, you know, go on a date with a lady and, you know, you're saying, let's meet here. And she's kind of giving you problems, like trying to, you know, show that she has power or wants to be in control. You got to stand on your square as a man, right? And say, no, look, listen, we're going here. And a lot of guys are afraid to kind of stand up for themselves, right? They're afraid to put their foot down and be firm because they're looking for the woman's approval, you know? So a lot of guys tend to do this, like if they, you know, meet a woman that they think is really attractive and they've never maybe dated someone like that before, and they end up like putting, you know, the woman on the pedestal and they think, oh, this is a nice guy thing to do. So when we're doing that, we're actually putting our own, self-worth down, you know? So, so we've got Akila who is asking, I want to know, how can I express interest in a man without seeming like I'm chasing him or pursuing him? Okay, so that's a good question. So I understand it's a little bit different for women than it is with men in some cases, right? So in that case, I would say, um, you can always just say, look, here's my phone number. I'm interested in you, and I'd like to see where things go. And you can either do it that way, or you can be more subtle. You can maybe just strike up a conversation with him, and just kind of show your interest in that way. Say, hey, there's this. I've got a favorite spot that I always go to. Would you like to come along with me? Right. So you could just throw it in that way as well. So if you're watching today, please give the stream a like and a subscription. Really helps the channel. So thank you for your question, Akila. Please give the stream a like if you're into this, kind of content. So where are you from, Akila? Where are you coming from today in the chat? Where's your location? Ah, Washington DC. Cool. Sounds good. Sounds good. So yeah, I mean, I hope that my answer was helpful. How long have you known this guy? Have you known him for a long time? And also, second question, does it seem like he's interested in you? Has he shown any interest in you? Do we have anyone else in the chat today? We are doing a dating Q&A. Okay. So how has it gone for you in the past then, when you've tried to approach women in the past? I see what you mean. Yeah. So you felt like when you've tried to approach, that they've tried to move things along quite quick, physically as well, which can be the case with which can happen. But I mean, if you are attracted to him in that way sexually, right, then I would have thought you would be happy to sort of go ahead with that and explore that situation, right? Because the case is, I see what you mean. I mean, the thing is, as you probably know, Akita, a lot of guys don't get approached by women like that. So a lot of guys are gonna sort of try and act very sexual in that way if you approach them, because it's kind of, it happens, as it happens here and there, but it's not obviously as common as it is when with men doing it. So you're definitely going to get those kind of responses. I'm just letting that's probably how it is going to be. For a lot of guys are going to react that way. What is it, would you say, you're looking for at the moment? Are you looking for a long term relationship with a guy right now? Is that sort of what you're looking for? Guess it just depends like what you're looking for, right? At the time. Guess it just depends like what each and every person is looking for in the end. So yeah, I mean, going back to the title, so marriage is my end goal. I'm 32. I don't want to be a GF over and over. I want to find, yeah, I mean, and that's so in that case, I mean, that's a good point you've made. So if you're someone like who's looking for a husband, then you definitely want to try and go to like, those spots where you may consider some of your favorite spots where you're gonna maybe like meet a man who is like-minded, or someone that you have things in common with. I would definitely try and do that. Is that something you do now, like you try to go to places where because it doesn't always have to be like bars and clubs, right? It could be a bookshop, somewhere where you consider is one of your favorite spots. It could be something random like a comic book festival. You have those comic cons and things like that. So you want to try and go to those places where you may be able to find something in common with a guy, and where you can just easily strike up those conversations. I think that's going to be the best way. And there, you're not necessarily going to just find a guy who is maybe just looking for just one thing, right? Right, yeah. I mean, what about do you ever try like online dating and things like that? And then, you obviously just, maybe try and specify that you're just looking for that relationship. So we are live from London, UK. Do we have anyone else in the building today? Anyone else in the chat? Please state your age and where you're from. Yeah, and that's the trouble sometimes. I always think it's definitely better to meet people in person, instead of online, because at least in person you can feel the person's energy straight away, and it just allows for a much more smoother and more efficient and effective conversation. Definitely advise to just meet in person. Online can be very tricky because like I said, it's just very hard to feel the person's, just it's just much easier to feel the person's nature in person and feel the person a bit more. um it's very hard to do that online. you know I definitely advise like meeting people in person outside. um it just is just much easier. So I mean, yeah, going back to the title, a lot of guys, just like Akila mentioned in the chat earlier, a lot of guys really think they need to put on this like fake nice, in a way to, um, you know, make women feel more attracted to them, or some guys want to feel like, oh, I'm this, nice guy and everything, and they end up just, following whatever a woman is doing, following whatever decision she's trying to make, and they end up not leading the situation at all. Like they can't. A lot of guys are afraid to make decisions and be confident with women, because they think it's gonna lower a woman's attraction for them if they're trying to sort of stand on their square. If they have like certain beliefs about something, a lot of guys might try and change their beliefs to suit whatever a woman is doing, or to suit whatever a woman is thinking or feeling, which is obviously a very weak, mindset. As a man, you have to have your own opinions about things, and you can't be afraid to make, decisions about things. And this is, all of these different traits are very, attractive to women. So um, for any of the young men watching, um, you really want to just make sure you're always coming across authentic to women. And you want to make sure that you're not afraid to be yourself. So any young men in the chat today, got any questions? Any young dudes got any questions about their dating experiences, anything like that? Do we have anyone new in the chat dropping in today? Say hello if you are just new to the chat and just dropping in. Please remember to give the stream a like and to subscribe if you're into this kind of if you're into these kind of topics. Today we are just talking about what it means to be authentic, in everything we do, specifically when it comes to dating, relationships, not being afraid to be someone who can make decisions and, has their own opinions about things, not afraid to be themselves and authentic. Please say hello if you are just coming into the chat today. If you're just dropping in, do we have anyone new dropping into the chat today? If you are just dropping into the chat, please state your age and where you're from. Do we have any young men in the chat today? Do we have anyone else in the chat? Do we have any questions today about today's topic? We are talking about what it means to be authentic and the power of being yourself rather than trying to be this, this fake nice, this image, this personality that we think people want to see. We're trying to understand today how important it is to be ourselves. So we've got December today who is asking, how will she know if a man is sincere after a month of dating? So that's a good question. So after a month of dating, I would want to ask, is he still being consistent with me? Is he acting the same with me the way he did at the start? Is he showing qualities of leadership? What else would I look for to see if he's sincere? Does he say things, and is he meaning what he says? Meaning, can he say things and stick to his word? You want to look for someone who is, a man of their word, right? Who can say things and stick to what they say. So that's definitely a sign of sincerity. in a person? Do we have any other questions today? Quite a quiet evening tonight, so we're just gonna maybe go 5 minutes more, make it 25 minutes. Thank you for those who have dropped in today to have a chat and to ask some questions. Appreciate it. If you're still around, just make sure to like the stream and subscribe. We've had some good questions today from the ladies in the chat today. Just going to go 4 minutes more today. Does anyone have any questions about today's topic before we close? Does anyone have any last questions before we wrap up today? Any more questions from December in the chat? December's best? What would you say what do you like about this man? Any more questions for Makila if you're still in the chat? So we're going to go for 3 more minutes before we end the stream today. Do we have anyone else who has just dropped into the chat today? Please say hello and state your age and your location. Would love to have a chat with you, see where you're from, how old you are, just so we can, get a quick background of some basic details in order to help answer the questions effectively. Can everyone hear me clearly? Just making sure the quality of the sound is good. Am I loud and clear? Yeah, so December says it's hard to find a real man nowadays. Yeah. Just give a yes if the mic is, if the sound is loud and clear. All right. So just want to say a thank you for everyone who dropped into the chat today. Hope you enjoyed the topic. We are going to wrap up here. And I hope you are able to give the stream a like and a subscription. And we shall see you most likely tomorrow on the next live stream. Have a great evening. Thank you for dropping in today. And we will see you again.